Hey everyone, and welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to jump right into a really detailed user's guide for the Enclave data intelligence platform. We're going to cover the whole shebang, from just a raw data file all the way to a working predictive model, and we'll see how it all happens securely right inside your web browser.
So let's start with a question that honestly keeps a lot of people up at night. How do you get all the amazing insights from modern AI without having to upload your private, sensitive, super important data to some random server in the cloud? It's this constant battle, right? Innovation versus security.
Well, that's exactly the problem Enclave was built to solve. Its entire design is based on being privacy first. And I want to be clear, this isn't just some catchy marketing phrase. It's literally how it's built. All the heavy lifting, all that good stuff, the data analysis, the machine learning, the charts, it happens locally, on your machine, inside your browser.
All right, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the secure workspace, the foundation of everything. Then we'll walk through exploring your data, building predictive models, and turning those models into something you can actually use. We'll finish up with a quick look at automation, and then tell you how to get your own free trial. So, let's start with security.
First up, your secure workspace. This is the absolute bedrock of the entire Enclave platform. So let's take a second to break down what privacy first by design really means when you're using it.
So, this is the big one. This is the most important thing to understand. When you drag a file into Enclave, it never leaves your computer. It is not sent over the internet. It is not uploaded to a server. All the processing happens right there in your browser on your machine. Your data stays your data, period.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, wait a minute, how can the AI assistant be so smart if it can't see my data? And that's the beautiful part. The AI never sees your actual data values. It only gets what's called sanitized metadata. So things like column names, data types, maybe some basic stats. It's like giving the AI the table of contents and the chapter titles, but not the actual pages of the book. It has enough context to be incredibly helpful without ever seeing the sensitive stuff.
And of course, it's not just about protecting the data while you're working. Just getting into the platform is locked down tight. Enclave uses this multi-layered security approach, and it's built on 3 key pillars: protecting the network, verifying your identity, and requiring multi-factor access.
So let's see how this actually works when you log in. First, your request goes through Cloudflare to block any sketchy stuff. Next, you're sent over to Google to prove who you are. And notice, Enclave never even sees your password. And for the final layer, you enter a one-time code from your Authenticator app. Only after you pass all 3 of those checks does your session start. It's incredibly secure.
All right, now that we know we're safe and sound inside the platform, let's get to the fun part, actually working with our data. This is all about going from a simple file to a real understanding of what's inside it.
And everything starts right here, in the Upload workspace. It's as simple as it looks. You just drag and drop your files. CSVs, Excel files, JSON, all the usual suspects. And remember, the second you drop that file, the analysis begins instantly, but it's not going anywhere. It's happening right there in your browser. Now, once your data is in, the AI assistant just comes to life. It's not sitting around waiting for you. It's actively scanning for problems with your data, flagging things that might be sensitive info, and even giving you one-click suggestions to fix issues. It's like having a super-fast data analyst looking over your shoulder, pointing things out before you even have to ask. It's a huge time saver.
And check this out. This is one of my favorite parts. You don't have to mess around with complicated chart-building tools. You just talk to it in plain English. You can type something like, "Show me a chart of usage score versus monthly spend," and bam, the assistant understands, creates the visualization, and pops it right into the Explore tab for you. It's just that easy.
So, our data is clean, we've explored it, we understand it. What's next? Well, we make it predict the future, of course. Let's jump into how Enclave basically becomes your personal on-demand data scientist. If you want to get going fast, you use AutoModel. And seriously, this feature is a total game changer. All you have to do is tell it which column you want to predict. Like, say, which customers are going to churn. And then you just click Run. That's it. Enclave goes off, trains a bunch of different machine learning models, tunes them, and then shows you a simple leaderboard of which one performed the best. But what if you're a pro and you want to get your hands dirty with all the settings? No problem. You can use the manual setup for total control. Or, and this is really cool, you can do a mix. Just tell the AI assistant your goal, and it'll fill out the whole manual setup for you with what it thinks is the best approach. Then you can go in and tweak it. It's really the best of both worlds.
Okay, so the model's done running, and you land here. In the Results Workspace, you get this full report, and it has all the deep, nerdy stats that data scientists love. Accuracy, precision, F1 scores, feature importance charts, the works. It's everything you need to technically validate the model. But then, you click on the AI Summary tab, and this is where the magic happens. The AI takes all of those complicated numbers and translates them into a story that a normal human can understand. It writes an executive summary. It pulls out the key business insights. It even gives you a recommendation. It turns all that data speak into a story you can actually tell your boss.
All right, so you have this amazing predictive model that you saved. So what? I mean, a model is useless if it just sits there, right? How do you actually make it helpful for the rest of your team? That brings us to the final step, turning insight into action.
And that's what the Solutions Workspace is all about. Think of it as a super simple app builder. It lets you create these small, interactive web applications that are powered by your machine learning models. And the best part? You don't have to write a single line of code. This is how you close that gap between a data science project and a useful business tool.
You've got two main flavors here. You can build an interactive app, which is great for what-if scenarios, like a calculator to see how likely a new customer is to churn. Or you can build a dashboard report to just share the key findings in a really clean way. And the killer feature? You can export these apps as a single HTML file. You can email it, you can post it somewhere, and anyone can use it even if they don't have an Enclave account.
Okay, we're almost there. Let's just quickly touch on the advanced stuff that helps you manage this whole process once you really get going at scale. We're talking about keeping your insights fresh and keeping your work organized.
So there are two key parts to this. First is the monitoring workspace. Think of it as autopilot for your models. You can tell it to automatically retrain a model whenever new data comes in. Then there's the governance hub, which is basically your command center. It's where you can organize all your stuff, your data sets, your models, your apps, into different projects to keep everything neat and tidy.
Wow, okay, we have gone all the way from a totally secure file upload to an automated, shareable AI application. We've covered a ton, so the big question is, how can you get your hands on this and try it for yourself?
Look, the absolute best way to really get it is to just use it. Enclave offers a completely free 7-day trial. It gives you a chance to play around and see for yourself how this whole privacy-first approach can really change how you work.
To get started, just head over to the website. That's enclave.sierraholdingsinc.com. You can sign up right there for your free trial and find a bunch more documentation if you want to go even deeper.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. All those answers you're looking for, those big insights that could change your business, they're probably already sitting there, right in the data you already have. The only real question is, are you ready to finally unlock them securely?